Hello. Oh, I want to lay down a bit, you know what I mean? So let me gotta fix up the focus real quick. You know, the manual lifestyle. Oops, the other way. I always forget which way is what. Is that focus? Right now we're rocking the light looks really nice actually because it's sunrise, midday, whatever it's called. It's the afternoon. It's 11:58. My God, this guy's got a Casio and he's got a $6,000 camera. I know, right? This shit makes no sense. Anyway, yeah, welcome back to the noise reduction talk again. Maybe I'll just make this like a noise reduction series because it's actually so much fun to to essentially um yeah, to essentially oh fuck, I don't do full screen. Fuck. Didn't even do that. I still hate Windows 10 or 11. Stop them. But yeah, essentially, I am. I just love using the noise reduction thing because it just makes. I don't know if people have ever taken a photo of like things with high dynamic range, but essentially, it's like a photo with right now you see just really blown out highlights, the light of oh no, this is in the same plane as the back of my chair. Uh, but yeah, essentially people know that when an image is too exposed, right? Um, like right now it's too exposed, right? So if you were to lower it, you can see more clarity. Um, yeah. I 2000. What's the ISO? Yeah, 2000. Essentially. But here's ISO 500. Right, it looks too faded, like it looks too cinematic, I think. But 2000 is what you want, I guess, because technically, you know what? Let's just put it at 500 ISO. My skin doesn't look that good in this, so we're gonna go back to 2000. Amazing. But yeah, essentially, excuse me. Essentially, though, for the camera work, when you use the photos, there's the 32 um the 32 images stacked. You can do 4, you can do 8, 16, I think, 32. But I do 32 because it's just more storage space, but who cares? I don't. I like it. So also gives you more room to average out the photos, and this is where I'm discussing. This is part 2 of the series, right? This is only technically available through the camera software, right? You can do this manually, and then you gotta realign stuff, and then you gotta micro. It doesn't actually do it correctly, I think, because the software is not created by the manufacturer, right? So of course, Lightroom and all of them and Photoshop has all the data, but compared to the physical hardware doing it versus me doing it, I'm okay with like letting the camera do most of the work, right? Before it would take you gotta load the images into Photoshop, then you gotta apply the layers and onto each image, and then you gotta like, oh wait, which one is which image again? It's like when you stack 32 images, for example, it's like which one is which? It's too much work. But this is like just a random. selfie of myself. So this only took me like 10, 15 minutes to do. The shot took more time. It took me like an hour to take this photo of here we'll see it, of just a selfie, right? Um it's nothing impressive, but essentially I got these 32 images and then I stacked them. Uh so we'll take out two of these raws, we'll open them up. On the edit, already edited of course, but as you can see, one is really focusing on my skin, and then the other is just focusing on the light beam, because you know that's essentially just part of the picture. I didn't really focus on the light beam in the frame of the circle of the lens, right? This is shot on my one. Oh, right now we're on the 50 millimeter. I should start off with that 50 millimeter 1.7. Um, but for this shot, I took it on my 135 Zeiss 1.8, and as you can see, there's like some of those bokeh balls reflecting off of the lens itself, which is cool. And then you got some bokeh stuff. But you can see it's very, very noisy once you edit it, right? So this is the light section, right? This is the ones where I made the lights pronounced. And then this one is where I focus primarily on my face and just like the clarity of it and whatnot. And what happens if you stick them both together? You essentially get, if you unedit it, right, just the plain 32 image, you get this image, which doesn't look too bad, but once you actually zoom in, you actually see the flaws of like the saturation stuff. And even if I reset this, it's like there's no like you can get that image, but then there's no what is it called? Uh like you can't edit it after you put it together, right? Because the I guess the data is already built, like, melded in. So there's like too much data essentially. That's like essentially what it is. Like it's just too much data. So like it's more granular, right? I'm pretty sure it'd be even better if the ISO was tinier, or no, technically it would be even more extremely granular if the ISO was even higher, right? Because there's so much noise in the higher ISO, so that the images know more things. So essentially, you can't really edit this image, right? But I mean, I like this edit because I wanted to make my skin deeper and my lips pinker and stuff. But but if you were to edit it together like this, where you stacked half the images, well, I just made it in like 10, 15 minutes. So you can go 32 images deep if you really want to like emphasize 32 parts of an image. But if you were to stack these two images of highlighting the highlights part and then the highlight and then focusing on this skin part, my face and skin part, then you get this image, which is the custom one, and it looks much better. And this is edited, and this is like the edit that I wanted too. Is it exactly like this? Not really, because I guess you lose some form of depth. Like you lose some form of depth in my teeth. Um, so my teeth and lips look more pinkish here, but it doesn't look as like blown out, right? Or like it like melds in correctly. That's the thing too. Like if you want to do the noise reduction software for your selfies, it might take a minute because the images just don't stack together like properly. It's really, I guess, dependent on your lighting situation. So if you use better lighting, of course you're gonna have a better image. But if you're just using these $9 LED lights from Amazon, can't really complain. This is like for less than $10 is like pretty good lighting, I'd say. Very, very versatile too, right? It's like 100 feet of lighting. But yeah, I mean nothing is wrong with this image, but of course if you want to pixel peep, and you can see it actually far away as well. So if you zoom in a bit, it it shows up, right? It's way more pronounced. But yeah, I hopefully the camera won't stop recording because I had that issue. I guess it's not having this issue since I'm tethered into the computer while I'm video recording. But yeah, so because of this stack with the 16 raw edited and the 16 edited raw edited as well. So two types of raw edits. I was able to get a better image clarity and image um color depth and like the scale doesn't break. So I mean, okay, so you see this blue stuff. Well, this is actually my contact lens. That's what I've noticed. Like even if I don't have my contact, if I have my contact lens in, you can actually see the cyan out of my eyes. But yeah, you see the teeth part it still looks very clear. It's less yellow. Um, so the yellow is more pronounced in the non-edited images. So it just really depends on, I guess, like the color palette. I don't know yet. I'm still like looking to it, but like if you really look at my like finger and stuff, it doesn't look that nice. It looks like one of those YouTube channels trying to tell you like, oh, this is how you color grade your film when they have like the weirdest like, okay, I guess you went too deep, you copy pasted too hard and you didn't like slightly adjust or something. But like, most people aren't pixel peeping, but if you're making a YouTube video about the coloring of something, then of course people are gonna pixel peep. What do you expect? Like, huh? Anyway, and I also do if you see the bokeh balls from the thing, it's more pronounced, it's more brighter here because essentially in the highlights edit, I did up the highlights, and then you can see it's darker as well. So just making it darker, I guess, made it better. But yeah, just more bokeh balls, more cool balls to look at. But yeah, I think um and like I said I just edited this image as well. So essentially noise reduction software on the Sony A9III is amazing if you want to do some like fun image stacking with high dynamic range. And yeah, I could have taken like a landscape photo, but that shit is not moving, you know what I mean? This, you get some emotion in it. I haven't even talked about the image yet, but this is, it's a little grotesque, but it's just like an image of myself. And, I don't know, people are embarrassed about their teeth, people are embarrassed about their face, their eyes, hair, etc., their hands. So, I don't know. It's myself, I guess. I like the image. That's it. And it's just a another fun way to edit with the noise reduction software. So, again, this is sponsored by High Self Esteem because I'm not lame. I don't know. Stop getting angry on the internet and, start taking pictures. Start enjoying life some more, because it's not too bad. And if you don't have a Sony A9III, well, you can still do this. Like I said, you can still do this, but the issue is that you're going to have a loss of like range, as in like of what you can manipulate. Because if you've edited photos where you stack them all together, you have to do it before post. So, and sometimes it just takes too dang long, okay? When you stack the images together, it's like, okay, it's only a few minutes. No, if you keep re-editing the same image and you do another few minutes and another few minutes, before you know it, you spent 4 hours on one image and you don't even like the image at the end of it. This, it's like, okay, 10, 15 minutes. It's not too bad. Can't complain too much. Like, if I wanted to improve this image quality some more, I would have shot this better. That's the issue. Is that like I spent like an hour taking this photo. I could have used the tripod, etc., but it would have detached the image from what I wanted to convey. So again, why get the A9 III? Don't get it unless you want to take stupid selfies like this or just portraits, I guess. Like I'm pretty sure if I did the noise reduction for this, it would be cool as well. But who knows? Anyway, again, brought to you by High Self Esteem. You know, and just yeah, hopefully you learned something from this. Because nobody's making any videos on the noise reduction. I was like kind of surprised because like this is like one of those things they tout on the camera as like only on the Sony A9 III, and then I saw the leak of the 85 millimeter 1.4 G Master 2. I was like laughing my ass off because I was like, yeah, all the images they took that wasn't, it was like not action. No, it's like not alive. Like I don't know. It's like taking photos of like boring stuff just feels so dreary and dead. And then when they shot photos of like action moving and something alive, it felt like, ooh, this felt nice. Like you know what I mean? It's hard to explain, but it just seems like there's a lot. It's like harder to AI image something that's moving, an image that's moving, rather than an AI image of something that is still life. Because then it's like, oh, if you shot that on the Sony A9R5, then you might as well like that's the thing. You might as well if you might as well stack 100 images, right? If you ever done this before, where you stacked 100 images, good luck with that. I've even done it with 2,000 images, and it took literally the whole day, and I didn't even like it. I didn't even post it anyway. That's like the worst part. You spend all this time editing, and then you don't even like it. So why is this a great feature? It cuts down on the time you spend taking photos and editing, right? If I can do this in 15 minutes, like, I don't know, and it's better than your boring image. People taking selfies nowadays is like same basic shit. So, again, fun image, learn how to take photos, Sony A9 III noise reduction software. But yeah, anything about it, that's it. Camille out.